What is up, guys? Godzilla here again. Today I've got yet another position about my camera. I hope this one stays for a while. I did it because of the background. I think this looks better. Anyway, so today I've got another figure review. And I thought I'd take a break from some of my more valuable figures and go to one of the least valuable figures in my collection, and not one of my favorites either. The Bandai Creation Godzilla 1954 reissue, or otherwise known as First Godzilla. This guy is in just about every Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, all those places. He's all over the place. I got him for $7 at Target, because why not? So yes, he's not hard to find at all. This guy, he is a reissue of another figure, in the Bandai Creation line. And the original figure looked more like the Bandai Japan one. It was just a little darker and the spines were lighter. And I think it was a lot better than this. And I also think that this is a lot better than this. I'll get to that in a bit. This guy is fat. Look at those thunder thighs. I guess I'm gonna do Sculpt first, now that I put that out there. Look at him. He's fat. He's huge. And then he's got this weird skinny neck here. It's just weird. He's got crooked spines. If you can see this one right here. His tail is curved up, but we can come to expect that from Bandai Creation. He's in this weird battle pose where this foot here is further back and his arms are in different positions. It looks sort of cool, but the thing is, when they position the arms like that, when you move them anywhere else, they just look like crap. Like right on the seam. See that? It's just awful anywhere. If it's not lined up with the rest of the arm, it looks really bad. See, there's a little lip there. So this figure lacks in quality. Or not, that kind of came from nowhere. This guy, his sculpt could have been much better. Let's see. That's about all I'm going to say for now for Sculpt. Let me move on to his detail. This figure has semi-decent detail. It's definitely not amazing, and there is a bit of inconsistency. So first I'll start with the head. It's okay detailed. Like, the front part here is smooth, and like, it's smoother. Here, I'll bring it in close. This part of his face right here on his nose is smoother, and then the side of his neck is nicely detailed, I think. Yeah, looks good. Each of these little spines here is individually sculpted, and that looks very good. I love that. He has a rather large upper lip, upper jaw, maybe, and it looks bad. The top of his head looks pretty good, I think. So detail in his head is actually pretty good. It's just the sculpt and movie accuracy that's the problem, and I'll get to it later. On to his torso. As you can see, it is also very detailed. I think they did a really good job with that. I'm loving these spines here, right, like on the side. They are very detailed and look very good. Here's the other side. Down here in his groin area, it like gets smoother and shinier, which is sort of weird. I mean, up here it's like dull and detailed and great, and down here it's like gross and slimy. You know what? That's just weird. What I was saying. It's smoother, okay? Sorry, guys. His arms, they look sort of good. I don't know, nothing too great. His nails are actually detailed, if you can see that. So those look good. Let's take a look at his spines. The spines look great. Very well textured and detailed, and the way they're sculpted is great. I love them. They might be the best part of this figure. They might. So yes, very, very nice spines. Let's get a look at the side of his tail here. Very detailed, very nicely done. All the way up to the tip. Here's under. So detail on the sky, it's actually really good in places, but it's a little inconsistent, and I'm not sure I like it in some places. Let me get on to paint job. He is this same shade of gray all around. He has some highlights, like up here on the top of his head, and on his knees, on his chest. So those look pretty good. Yeah, the paint job, it's like also on the side. It looks good how they put the gray on the side of the spines, but they didn't go through with it all the way because there's still some texture without paint here. So I wish they would have done that correctly. His eyes are plain white with black pupils. They look actually pretty good. I'm not going to complain about those. I just noticed, like right now, that mine has this white line on the back of his foot. I'm thinking that may have been from the tie wraps, or the cables that kept him in the box. Speaking of which, I'll get his box really quick. Here's the box. It's an okay box, I like it, and as you can see, it has his face on the box. While he was in the box, he was standing there like so, all ready to be bought by some little child who didn't know any better. I suppose that includes me. Anyway, so that's the box. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, paint job. The inside of his mouth is plain red and it looks awful. It looks like he has a bunch of blood in his mouth. As the 10-year-old Louis Duran says, it looks like his mouth is full of blood. Let's see. His teeth. Oh, by the way, his teeth aren't individually sculpted, but they're nicely painted. Claws, they're actually more of a grayish than a white. As you can see, I think it's different, a nice variation from the usual. So that's a paint job. I kind of wish they would have just left it black and white like they did the Bandai one. because they seem to butcher the mouth and cause 10-year-olds all around the world to think that his mouth is full of blood. Anyway, so now I'll do some size comparisons now. You've seen this guy a few times already throughout the review, but here's the Bandai Japan version. This one is far superior. Like, there's no comparison. This guy is far superior. But I'm doing size comparisons. What am I saying? They're exactly the same size. Yes. And while I have this guy out, I'm just going to say the only thing that this one does better than this one is maybe the sharp detail in like the side of the legs here and in the head and the spines. Everything else goes to this guy. Anyway, so that's first size comparison. This one is kind of stretching it, but if you know that right after 1954, Godzilla fought Anguirus in 1955, and that suit looked kind of like this suit, then you can take out the Anguirus that wasn't even from 1955 and put them up against each other. If you wanted to do a statistically incorrect Godzilla raids again, then you could use these guys. Bandai Creation figures. They look good together. Just about right, yeah. Anyway, so that's size comparison. He's a standard 6-inch figure. On to articulation. He has this articulation in the tail right here. Moves 360. I don't know why, but I really enjoy spinning that part. Call me crazy. Anyway, his head turns 360. His arms, you have to move them a bit, but they will go 360. Make sure he doesn't scratch himself. The legs, this one goes 360. This one doesn't go 360. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of articulation. Pretty good, actually. Let's see. Movie accuracy. I'm just gonna say this guy is a lot more movie accurate. So if you have a choice, definitely get this one. This one looks like a stylized version of 1954 Godzilla, but still, it's not movie accurate. Except for the spines. They're good. They actually look a bit more like 1955 spines. Anyway, overall thoughts? Okay, overall thoughts. Bandai Creation needs to stop reissuing figures that are just fine, you know? Like, the first issue of this guy, the first 1954 Godzilla, looked fine. They didn't have to reissue it. This guy looks completely different, and it's not a good thing. Biggest issues. I'd have to say it's that he's too fat, and his mouth is all red. And his arms. His arms are very dumbly sculpted. Anyway, so rating. He gets a 2.5 out of 5. They could have done a much better job with him, or just not done anything at all since they already had an issue out. So yes, 2.5. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you didn't enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Request more reviews, and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.